Up, you know what it is. It's your man Trey, aka T Smith.
Loved by few, hated by many, respected by all.
Coach boy, Coach in, ready to get it in on the world famous
TURFTALK, baby.
First down, Cooley Bryant. Green, and it's intercepted. Drake Jackson. Let's go. Let's go.
Live my whole life around gangsters. Don't hang around nothing that ain't like us. Twin foes make them put away deuces. My whole hood in the building looking ruthless.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. It's always a pleasure for y'all to hang out with us. Turf Talk 101 with me, Travon Smith. We try to tap in with some athletes. Lately, we've been doing some senior athletes, high school athletes, trying to, help them get their film out. Today, we're tapping in with a young man I've been following through his career, a vet at the cornerback position, somebody I like to, talk to, let him speak his brain, let some of these young cornerbacks hear. He comes from a family full of pedigrees of experience, as well as himself, the one and only Mr. Simeon Burns. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, and you? How you doing? Thank you for having me on your show.
I appreciate it, man. I know you got a busy schedule coming up. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later, but people don't know it's January the 1st, and you took some time to tap in with me, man. So happy New Year, first and foremost.
Yes, sir. First and foremost, happy New Year to you too.
Yes, sir.
God bless.
Yes, sir. I want to talk a little bit I want you to go through and talk to me about your journey. You know what I'm saying? I know you down there at Linsfield with your dad. He has a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience. For somebody like you growing up in that house, your brother was also a little bit older than you, another cornerback with a wealth of knowledge, wealth of experience. I believe you guys played together in high school at some point for maybe a year or two. I'm going to let you talk a little bit about that. I know your brother went in to play at University of Arizona, signed with the Jags, won a championship last year with the Stallions. Talk to me about your journey as far as you in that house growing up, as the young bumblebee, you know what I'm saying, soaking it all in.
Okay, so just growing up in just this household, it's a very competitive household. So we do a lot of competitions, a lot of things, and maybe direct in some things and maybe indirect in some things. So like as far as like academics or anything like that would be indirect competition, but like on a field, working out, things like that, it'd be direct. So me and my brother have a really close and good relationship. And we always just try and push each other to become better and do better, along with my sister too, because she's like one of the most athletic out the family.
Yeah, I don't want to leave out your sister because it's a household full of athletes over there in the Burns house. But go ahead.
Yes, sir. How full of athletes, and then just building on what I said earlier, just like having those three, just the background that he has. I'm very blessed. Just not only being just a person that could absorb all this knowledge and then just soak in everything, because I've done seen everything from high school to collegiate to the pros. So it's just like taking that all in, not taking it for granted, because most people don't even have that opportunity or even are around things like that. So just like with me growing up, like I've always had a sense of hunger. Like I've always had to be hungrier because I was a late bloomer, believe it or not. And I really didn't hit my growth spurt to like my sophomore, junior year of high school. And then I've always been on the smaller side. So I've always had to, bring that extra dog out or just like be extra competitive, be tougher, because being undersized in the sport that I'm in is just, most people don't really make it. So with all that being said, just like being around constant inspirations, being around constant people that are going to push me and make me better, is kind of like up my game, most definitely in a lot of ways, and just absorbing everything in every moment.
And that's I want to take it back and go and talk about you personally, as far as high school and your journey, because I know you went from high school to college, then to JC, and then back to college to where you at now, where you just finished up. But I want to touch on. That's what I do notice about your game. It's we'll have the links, posted below in the description. You're very aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was your coach, I would want to tell you to calm down, but I'll sometimes you sit in the coaches meeting, you be like, no, let him play because he might make some mistakes, but he naturally aggressive. Like you always got your shoulder pads down. You know what I'm saying? Coming to the box. So that's something, I think people will love at the next level when you get there. You know what I'm saying? You're going to definitely come help with run support. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And I know sometimes it plays against you, but I want to talk to you a little bit more about your career in high school and then your journey from you went to college, then you came back to JC, won a championship, and then you're where you're at now. So talk to me a little bit about that whole process, because I think a lot of kids have it misconstrued about, I'm just going D1, and it happens for everybody. When I know for a fact you're better than a lot of these kids I see going D1. You know what I'm saying? Over these last couple of years, and some get the break, some don't, but it's just football. But talk to them a little bit about your process.
So my process was a little bit different. So I've had a different walk of life, just being again, it goes back to being undersized. So like typically with undersized corners or any special, like, secondary players where you're like a receiver or anything like that, it's a little bit harder to get recruited just because the size differential. So like with that being said, coming out of high school, I wasn't the biggest. I definitely didn't have a lot of weight on me. Definitely didn't have a lot of height on me. I wasn't the fastest, but what I did have was technique, and what I did have was his heart. You know what I'm saying? So that's two things that people couldn't really take away from me, was my technique and my heart. And so with that being said, would help, like, it didn't help me in high school because of my grades. And that's one thing I would share with the youth and just anybody that's tuned into the broadcast or whatnot. And like, if they're younger or any parents, like, number one thing is no matter how talented you are and no matter what you bring to your game and how outstanding your film is, you're not going to go anywhere without grades. And that's just a known factor. It's kind of like common sense for parents nowadays, but it's really a real thing, because it's easier to offer somebody that has like a 3.2, 3.3, because it's not necessarily saying that they're over the top smart, but in a coach's perspective, it just looks like, okay, he's a dependable guy in the classroom. And then when it comes to spring and everything and during the season, we won't have to worry about keeping him eligible. We won't have to worry about him being a problem in the classroom and then just having to be on his butt 24/7, you know what I'm saying, babysit a kid. So that's major. And that's one thing I did struggle with in high school and just throughout my whole collegiate career was academics and just learning how to tighten up later on. So from high school, not having really I've had looks, but due to my academics, it played a major factor on what my recruitment was and the offers that I did have. So when I did come out of there, I went to Dixie State. I got offered extremely late, like 2 weeks before like their fall camp started. So I went up there, you know what I'm saying, with no visit or anything like that, trying to absorb the experience. I met some cool people and some cool coaches along the way up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, just tried to make the most of my experience up there, but just didn't work out. Got into some things I should have been up there. And then, like, because I'm just being completely upfront and honest. So,
Hey, but this is important for kids to know. It's called natural human beings. You know what I'm saying? We all get into things that we shouldn't get into, and some of us learn sooner than later.
Exactly.
But at least you've learned. Now, come on, I'm listening now.
Exactly.
Some of the stuff I didn't know. You're at Dixie State now. You know.
Yes, sir. So most definitely, so like with that, like it's just like real life. Like most people just see the accolades and just like all the rewards that athletes get, but people really don't know what goes on behind closed doors, what go on behind the scenes, and just the journey it takes to get there and like what they're going through up there. And then as a young man growing into a man, like just being at that level, I think most people, unless if you have really good people that you surround yourself with, which is something that's really important. That's something I grew to learn like midway through my college experience. Like from Dixie State, I wasn't surrounded by the most positive or like the best crowd or anything like that. And that's what kind of led to the trouble, because like that's your influence. That's people that you're hanging around every day. That's like some habits are going to come out or be created by people that you hang around, things like that. So getting in trouble because I'm hanging around the wrong group of people up there, that's kind of what led to me coming back. And just I got to keep it all the way real, just because like it's a real thing. No matter how talented you are or how good you may think you are, like you're easily replaceable. It's a business at this level. So when you go from high school where like you could get away with a lot of things because you're looked at as a kid and because you get that excuse and that relief that he's just a kid, when you get to college, it's no longer that. You might get that your freshman year, but after like a certain time frame, people just stop caring about that. People are like, okay, the whole freshman card is done. That's played out. Like you're a grown man now. Grow up. You're in college now. Like mommy and daddy aren't here to hold your hand no more. So you're expected to grow up. You're expected to carry yourself like a man and handle your business like a man. So because I failed to handle my business up there and surround myself with positive influences, it led me to just losing a scholarship and then coming back home to JC. So then missing the whole 2018 season, because I completed the whole season over at Dixie State, which was 2017. Going into 2018 is why I got in trouble and just like came back. And just missing that whole season really just humbled me extremely. Like as much I have so much passion and love for football. And it's more than like my brother, honestly. It's more than some people in my family. Like I'm up there with my dad with my passion, my drive for football. So when it was stripped away from me and taken away from me, I had to sit back and look at it. I'm like, wow, I really can't play this year. And like really, I didn't know if I was gonna ever play again because it's hard. Like when you have certain things on your track record, that's another thing to you is like, you get in trouble. Especially when it leads to the dismissal of your scholarship or you from a university or you think about transferring because you got in trouble, you have a track record with your university, that thing follows you everywhere you go.
Yes, sir.
You can't shake it. It's literally just like, what's that? It's just like your background. Literally, just like your little
background
report
check
that you have. So like
if you're a felon or something. If you were a
exactly,
felon,
and
you know what I'm saying?
believe it
But
or
it's
not,
not. It's compared to that as far as a collegiate athlete. I want people to know you're not a felon. I'm just using that as an analogy.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm definitely not a felon. And then just like, no, but that's like, that's how serious it's taken. Like, people look at it and they really go through background checks and everything because they want to make sure the student that they're bringing into the program not only is a good representation of the football program, but of the actual collegiate program itself. So they don't want no thugs walking around on campus, no gangbangers, nobody that's out there just robbing people, doing anything like that. Just something that you shouldn't even be doing at no college because you got people there that are strictly about their business, trying to create a way of life. Some people don't come from nothing up there, and they're trying to make a way for them and their family. So that's very important. If you think you could just do whatever and just transfer and you've had trouble in your past, like best believe coaches going to do their research and they're going to find out. And that's when they're going to start asking the questions. If you lie, just know that they already have the answers. So they're asking for a specific reason. So you lying is not going to help your situation.
Yeah. Hey, so, first 48. They already know who committed the crime. They just in there asking to get the detail.
You know what I'm saying? Like they want to see if like how bad you're gonna lie and if your story is gonna match up and whatnot. Like really just trying to catch you out on your lie and call you out. So with that being said, it's the same thing as the recruitment process. So going through everything that I went through and then going through junior college. So I entered back in during like 2019 of the spring, getting back into the ball like my first time. I'm just like I was blessed. Like at one point in time when I was over at Dixie, I kind of like let my situation, what I was going through, like take the love of the game away from me. But then when I was stripped and everything, I got back into it. Like relit that fight and I became even more like 20 times as passionate because I was like, it's been taken away. I never want that to happen again. I just realized how much of a blessing it is to even just be able to practice. Like really, most people hate practice, but like that's a blessing. Like that's something that you get to do every day. Yeah. You're gonna improve. That's what you're working towards a job.
That's a career. Go ahead.
Most definitely. So with that being said, like going through that whole spring training, like even just keeping the motivation and getting through my season at JUCO, I went through some family situations that off the field that kind of didn't help my situations academically. Also with some self-responsibility that I wasn't really like I was struggling with my self-responsibility and self-discipline up there, along with family problems off the field. So 2019, like my whole academics, like that's my biggest story with me is gonna be my academics and why I'm not where I want to be.
Yeah.
So I just struggled academically up there and like didn't necessarily get the recruitment that I thought I was gonna get. And that's when it really truthfully hit me and settled in like, wow, grades are really that important. Because there's people that are like humbly speaking, there are people I've seen that were not good at all getting these D1 offers and everything. And I just realized like, oh, it's strict, like it's really like their film adds up a little bit, but it's really their grades.
Yeah.
And that's when it just kicked in. I'm like, okay, like, let me go ahead and like, you know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and buckle down and get serious about my academics. So when I got done with the recruitment process, I ended up getting offered by the university I'm at right now, which is Travon. It's a Division II school over in North Carolina, Murfreesboro to be exact. It's a small school, you know, in the middle of nowhere, but definitely when I had got the offer and everything, at first I had known nothing about the school. I just randomly got hit up over Twitter in my DMs from the head coach, Coach Mark Hall, who's over at now over at UMC Pembroke. And Coach Neely, I believe, is over at Pembroke with him too. The whole staff just left Chowan. They offered me. And literally what sold me is that when it comes to recruitment, and this is for any dude, because everybody has in D1 dreams, but like you just have to keep it in reality. Not everyone's meant to go D1. And on top of that, D1 is not all that it's packed up to be. It's heavily political. And on top of everything is like most people want to be the superstar, want to live this life. They see the money that D1 athletes get. They see the facilities, and then they just see the crowds and just all the gear that comes with it. But they don't realize what actually comes with it, how hard you truly have to grind, with the sacrifices that come with it. You're basically living the life of a pro. If you're built for something like that, go ahead. It's the same thing at lower divisions. It's just they don't have the funding for it.
Yeah.
That's the only difference in the athletes.
Okay.
So their journey, like most people are stuck up on it. It's okay to go NAIA, D3, D2. You got to look at a path for you and what you're going to be most successful in. How are you going to make it? Like if your dream is the NFL, what's going to put you in a better position? You going to a D1 and just being another dude and not playing till your junior or senior year? Or you having to suck up and eliminate the pride aspect from your life and just going to a D2 or D1 AA or NAIA or D3, it's still college. It's still like that's what most people don't get. Most people don't get blessed. They don't get blessed enough to get an offer and go to college for free or get their education paid for, their school, their academics, or whatever paid for. So most people take that for granted. Just look at the divisions like, no, I'm not doing that because it's a lower division. These dudes suck. But really, at the end of the day, ball is ball. If you're talented, people will come and find you. Talent gets found. Talent gets scouted. So if you could go to a D2 and be the man of that conference, be the man of D2, and you could dominate at that level, then that's just as important than going to a D1, just having that platform. Because now you're putting your film out there. You're putting yourself out there, showing how you can really play and like what you can really do, rather than going to a D1 being limited to maybe like sharing reps with somebody or not even touching the field till really late in your career. Things like that. So going up to Chowan, it was a pride thing. Like I had to drop my pride and be like, okay, you know what? I didn't go to JUCO just to go back D2, but I realized I was like, this is my own mistake. I dug myself in this grave. So I'm gonna go ahead and commit. I'm gonna handle my business. I'm gonna do what I need to do. So going up there really humbled me. Like, this is it. This is your final stop. This is your final pit stop. This is it. Like, this is your final collegiate career. This is where you're gonna graduate from, which is what I'm currently doing, going back in the spring to graduate.
Yeah, congratulations on that as well.
I appreciate that. And just my whole career over at Chowan, when I got my second chance at a university, which was major, I didn't think was going to happen. That was a blessing within itself. Going up there and I'm thankful to the coaching staff and the people up there that, kept me on the right path, that helped me out, kept my head straight, kept me focused, and then just gave me a second opportunity, gave me a second home, and allowed me to be myself and just go out there and just have the season that we did. We turned the program around that was not known for winning, had a losing culture, and just had a lot of negative things about it. And we turned it into a program that's actually on the upside, is on the up and coming, where we made a lot of noise. Last year, going 5-0, being ranked for the first time ever in school history at number 24 in the nation, and then ending off the season at 7-3, which was the best season that they've had ever. And then this year, actually, following up, going 7-3 again, but we clinched the Northern Division champs titles and we won our side of the conference. And then
you have some personal accolades as well, right?
Yes, sir. Being second team all CIAA, that was pretty helpful.
Invited to numerous All-Star games.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. I got invited to Undiscovered Bowl. I got invited to a Pro Dip Quest Bowl, which was over in New York. That happened on December 3rd. And then HBCU Pigskin Classic, just the one I just got done.
Yeah, when I got a chance to watch that, balled out, played your butt off against some HBCU kids.
Yes, sir. Definitely some all-stars. Some dudes that I could see being up in the league, if not getting a shot over in the USFL, XFL, or something like that. Canadian. Okay. There's some talented dudes over at HBCUs we're slept on. But just those accolades, all that added up just by not only by the graces of God, but just my work ethic and just how hard I've had to push and the adversity I had to overcome, just keeping the mindset of remaining humble and just praying to God about everything every step of the way and just keeping God first. So I appreciate just having a season of success that we did this year, being Northern Division champs and going to the CIAA championship for the first time ever, the conference championship for the first time ever in school history. Even though we came up short with a walk-off field goal to a tough team, we still created history, and that's still important. That's what most people don't get is like I'm part of history.
What's most important, man, is that journey that people just got a chance to hear. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have your ups and downs, your smiles and your frowns, you know what I'm saying, as Big Snoop say, and you have to learn to overcome them. Everybody talks about, it's not how hard you get hit, it's how you get up. This is a real life story. People need to overcome these because a lot of these athletes, nobody's there to help them after things don't go as they plan. So a lot of these writers, they write you up and they hype you up, and all this media, they hype you up, and then nobody's there for these kids when they have to go, you know what I'm saying? And when they need somebody to talk to, and that's what we here for. And that's why, you know, I wanted to bring you on so you can share your story, because these kids need to hear that, man. If you're just tuning in, it's Turf Talk 101. We're talking to the cornerback Simeon Burns, and we just got a chance to hear a beautiful story. I want to, you know, tap in and tap out with you right here with this last question. What's the plan for Simeon Burns now? You've been invited to all these All-Star games, second team in college at Chowan. Did I say it right, Chowan?
Chowan.
And you got all these accolades after, you know, you went through your process. So what's on the menu now? What's on the plan now? What do you have going?
So for my future plans, what I got going on right now, I'm training for a pro day because I don't necessarily have one set up at my school because I don't think we're going to have one over at my school. So I'm just training for my pro day, trying to get that set up, get that in motion. And if I could get an invite to the HBCU Legacy Bowl, then that's just the only other thing I'm waiting on. Other than that, I'm just strictly working out, training, trying to get healthy because I had surgery on my hand not too long ago. So just in the middle of that rehab process, and then just preparing, just getting ready for a phone call, really just mentally and then physically, obviously, like got to get in shape, you know, and got to make the body changes and, you know, like just look like a pro, be built like a pro. By the time I get there, I'm already ready to hit the ground running. So that's really what that's really where I'm at right now. I'm progressing in with school, finishing up. Hopefully this is my last semester, going to be graduating in spring. You know, all glory to God for that. And then as far as that goes, outside of football and life, like really just looking to start some businesses, a clothing brand, looking to start my own training business, and then looking to be a coach sometime soon. If once ball gets done, everything's said and done, I'll become a coach with that. But other than that, just becoming a trainer, working on that. I've already trained some kids. I've already had some clients and whatnot, locally, some local kids, whatnot. And just like I said, like also getting into real estate. So I got a bunch of plans lined up, and a lot of it's going to be off the platform too. I'm gonna use my platform to promote my businesses and then also to give back to community and whatnot. So that's my future plans where I'm at right now.
Do this for me. If somebody want to get a hold of you because they want you to train their young goons out there, how can they get a hold of you?
You could get a hold of me through either my Instagram, which is FNO_Sim, which is gonna be my clothing brand coming soon. It stands for Fear No One. So that's not like a little gang or nothing that y'all looking at. It's not like nothing crazy. It's just something that my little cousins actually created. I just love the name of it, Fear No One, because that's how I live my life. And then also, if you can't get in touch with my Instagram, you can always get my phone number, which is 209-399-0226. Again, it's 209-399-0226. And those are like two ways you could contact me. And then just chop it up. I'm $20 an hour, if not, like depending on what kind of sessions you want, weight room or field work. Whatever, I got everything set up.
Definitely, and that's something I could vouch for. You've helped my son, you know, a tremendous lot. You run. You don't take no breaks on him. You make him run hard, and you know, I've seen you do numerous, you know, clients after clients out there. We were just out there last Saturday, so you know what I'm saying. It's definitely a pleasure to tap in with you, man. I'm gonna post all your information under the description. Make sure we get some traffic your way. But I want you to tap in with us and keep us updated on that journey. As you know, I don't know personally, just from talking to your dad, but I want to document some of this so these kids can hear, because a lot of them have the story messed up, and their parents even have it even more messed up. You know what I'm saying? They think, you know, you get on the freeway and jump on the 10 to go to LA, and it ain't never no traffic. Sometimes you got to get off. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to take the 60 to 210.
Yes,
you got to figure it out. So that's what it's all about, man. And
yes,
your story is great, because you know the overall plan is you have your personal accolades, and you got that college degree coming in the spring. So congratulations again, man. Happy New Year, and thank you for hanging out with us, man.
Thank you for having me on your talk. You know, the best podcast is Turf Talk broadcast. You know what I'm saying? That's the best thing out right now. Is gonna be real. Like he's just the real deal. I appreciate you for just even inviting and having me on your show. You know what I'm saying? I'm very thankful for that. Then blessed for having the opportunity and just getting to know you, and then just the relationship that you have with my father, and then just us and just watching us and just our progress going up. I really thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
Definitely an honor. I definitely am looking forward to do more.
Yes, sir. Let's keep it moving. And like I said, I'll check in with you, man. Appreciate it. Have a great day, man.